There are two versions of you listening right now. One of them already knows why it clicked on this video. The other is about to find out. And I want you to sit with that for a moment. Because the fact that you are here, right now, hearing these words, is not random. It is not algorithmic coincidence. It is not just because a thumbnail caught your eye or a title triggered your curiosity. Something beneath your conscious awareness guided you to this exact moment. Something that has been waiting, quietly, patiently, for the conditions to be right. And the conditions are right. Not because I say so, because your nervous system says so, because the very act of seeking this out, of staying, of listening, is evidence of a readiness that most people never arrive at. Not because they cannot, because they are not yet willing to see what you are about to see. Your brain right now is producing electricity, not metaphorically, literally. Billions of neurons firing in coordinated rhythms, generating measurable electromagnetic oscillations that determine not just what you think, but how you think, what you are capable of perceiving, what information can reach you, and what slides off the surface of your awareness like water off glass. And there is a specific frequency, a specific mode of operation, where the wall between your conscious intentions and your subconscious programming becomes thin enough to reach through. Most people pass through this frequency twice a day without ever knowing it exists. They stumble into it and stumble back out. What we are going to do together over the next hour is something different. We are going to walk through that door on purpose. And once you understand what is on the other side, you will never again wonder why your life keeps producing the same results, despite your best conscious efforts to change it. But first, we need to go deeper than most conversations like this ever go. Because the real story here is not about relaxation techniques or positive thinking. The real story is about the architecture of your mind, who built it, when it was built, and why it keeps running a program you never consciously chose. Let us start with something measurable. In 1924, a German psychiatrist named Hans Berger placed electrodes on the scalp of a human subject and recorded something no one had ever documented before. Electrical activity. Rhythmic, oscillating, patterned electrical activity radiating from the brain. He called the device an electroencephalogram, an EEG. And what it revealed was that the brain does not simply think in some vague, immaterial way. It pulses, it hums, it vibrates at specific, identifiable frequencies, and those frequencies correspond to radically different states of consciousness. What Berger discovered, and what nearly a century of neuroscience has since confirmed and expanded, is that your brain operates in distinct frequency bands. Delta waves, the slowest, oscillate between roughly half a hertz and 4 hertz. This is the territory of deep, dreamless sleep, the state where your body performs its most profound repair work, where growth hormone surges, where cellular restoration happens at its peak. You have no conscious awareness in Delta. You are, for all practical purposes, offline. Above Delta sits Theta, ranging from about 4 to 8 hertz. Theta is where things get fascinating. This is the frequency of dreams, of deep meditation, of that liminal corridor you pass through as you fall asleep and again as you wake up. It is the frequency associated with vivid imagery, emotional memory processing, creative insight, and a particular kind of receptivity that we will return to shortly, because it is central to everything we are exploring today. If you are ready to go deeper into the frequencies we have been exploring, listen closely. Have you spent years chasing manifestation, visualizing, affirming, raising your vibration, only to watch the same patterns repeat? Every traditional method assumes the same thing, that you are separate from what you want. That separation was never real. You were chasing a signal you were already broadcasting. Beyond the frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery walks through all 9 frequencies, from the dense transmissions trapping you through the ascending currents to the master frequencies where consciousness becomes the field. Every method you tried sent a signal outward. This one tunes the signal you already are. Every day you delay, your nervous system broadcasts the same old signal, and breaking free gets harder. So move on it tonight. The link is in the pinned comment below. Now, back to the architecture of these frequency bands and what they mean for you. Then there is beta, the frequency most people inhabit for the vast majority of their waking hours. Beta oscillates above 13 Hz, sometimes reaching 30 Hz or higher in states of intense focus or anxiety. This is the frequency of active analytical thinking, problem solving, planning, worrying, calculating, defending. It is the state your brain enters when you are answering emails, navigating traffic, arguing a point, running through your to-do list. Beta is useful. It is necessary. But it is also the state in which your subconscious programming is most firmly in control, precisely because your conscious mind is so busy with surface-level processing that it has no bandwidth left to examine what is running underneath. And then there is alpha, 8 to 12 Hz, the state of relaxed wakefulness. You are present, you are aware, but you are not agitated. Your mind is active but not defensive. Your body is alert but not braced. Alpha is what shows up when you close your eyes and take a slow breath. It is what emerges in the shower when your mind drifts without direction. It is the state you are in during those first moments after waking, before you reach for your phone and flood your nervous system with the demands of the external world. Now here is what most discussions of brainwaves skip past too quickly, and it is the detail that changes everything. Alpha is not just a passive state you fall into. It is a gateway. It is the neurological threshold between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, and it is adjustable. You can deepen it or dissolve it with remarkably simple actions. Closing your eyes increases alpha production. Opening your eyes and engaging in calculation decreases it. This means you are not at the mercy of some mysterious process. You already cross this threshold multiple times every day. The difference that separates someone who lives on autopilot from someone who begins to consciously rewrite their own programming is whether you cross that threshold by accident or by intention. EEG research has shown that experienced meditators produce more consistent, more stable alpha patterns than non-meditators, particularly in the posterior regions of the brain. This is not a talent. It is not a spiritual gift reserved for monks or mystics. It is a skill, a trainable, measurable, reproducible skill. And the implications of that skill reach far deeper than relaxation. Because here is the question that should be forming in your mind right now. If alpha is a gateway to the subconscious, and the subconscious is where your deepest programming lives, then what exactly is that programming? Where did it come from? And why does it seem to override your conscious choices with such effortless authority? This is where we need to be honest about something most people find uncomfortable. You are not as in control of your life as you believe you are. The cell biologist Bruce Lipton, whose work bridges molecular biology and behavioral science, has presented a striking estimate. Approximately 95% of your cognitive behavior, your reactions, your habits, your emotional responses, your default interpretations of events, is driven not by your conscious mind, but by your subconscious. The conscious mind, the part of you that sets intentions, makes resolutions, decides that today will be different, operates in roughly 5% of your total cognitive activity. Sit with that ratio for a moment. 5% conscious, 95% running beneath the surface, executing without question, without debate, without your permission. You have experienced this. You know you have. You wake up and decide with genuine conviction that today you will respond differently to that person who triggers you. Today you will not reach for the thing you are trying to quit. Today you will hold your tongue, or speak up, or stay calm, or take the risk. The intention is real. The desire is authentic. And by evening, you have done almost exactly what you did yesterday. Not because you are weak, not because you lack discipline, because you were using 5% of your cognitive capacity to wrestle with a system that controls 95%. The odds were never in your favor. Not with that strategy. If this is already shifting something in the way you understand yourself, take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe so we can keep going deeper together in future videos. Lipton uses a metaphor that is worth staying with. The subconscious is the autopilot. The moment your conscious mind turns inward, begins problem solving, starts planning, gets absorbed in thought, the autopilot takes the wheel. You have experienced this most clearly while driving. You learn to drive with full conscious attention. Every mirror check, every lane change, every braking distance was a deliberate calculation. And now you arrive home and realize you have no memory of the last 15 minutes of the drive. Your subconscious was driving. Your conscious mind was somewhere else entirely. That example feels harmless, but the same mechanism is running your emotional reactions. It is running your relationship patterns. It is running your beliefs about money, about your worth, about what is possible for you, about what you deserve. And the programs that drive those patterns were not written by you, not by the adult you, not by the conscious, choosing, intending you. They were written in childhood. And this is the part that is both liberating and heavy at the same time. Lipton explains that a child's brain, before approximately the age of 7, operates predominantly in theta, the same slow frequency associated with hypnosis, with deep meditation, with heightened suggestibility. In theta, the critical faculty, the part of the mind that evaluates, questions, and filters incoming information, is not yet developed. Everything the child observes goes straight into the subconscious without resistance. The way a parent handles anger, the way money is discussed or avoided, the emotional climate of the household, the subtle, unspoken messages about what is safe, what is dangerous, what is possible, what is not. All of it downloads directly into the operating system. And according to Lipton's assessment, 70% or more of those early programs are limiting, disempowering, or self-sabotaging. Not because the parents were malicious, because they were running their own unexamined programs, inherited from their parents, who inherited them from theirs. Generation after generation, passing code forward without anyone stopping to read it. This is why you can understand something intellectually and still not change. Understanding lives in the conscious mind. The program lives in the subconscious. And the subconscious does not respond to understanding. It does not respond to logic. It does not respond to willpower. It responds to frequency. It responds to repetition. And it responds to the specific neurological conditions under which it was originally programmed. Which brings us back to alpha, because alpha is the doorway to theta, and theta is where the code was written. When you learn to enter alpha deliberately, to hold that state with intention rather than stumbling through it on your way to sleep, you begin to access the same level of receptivity your brain operated in as a child. The same openness, the same plasticity, the same capacity to absorb new patterns at the deepest level. Only this time, you are not a child passively downloading whatever the environment provides. You are an aware, choosing consciousness, selecting what enters. That is the difference between living on autopilot and living on purpose. Not willpower, not discipline. Access. Access to the frequency where change actually takes root. I want to pause here and ask you something. When you think about the programs that were installed in you before the age of 7, can you identify one that is still running your life right now? Drop it in the comments below, because naming it is the first step toward loosening its grip. There is a man whose story illuminates this with extraordinary clarity. Jose Silva was born in 1914 in Laredo, Texas, one of the poorest cities in the state at the time. He had no formal education beyond what he taught himself. He was an electronics repairman. He fixed radios, televisions, circuits. His mind was trained to think in terms of frequencies, signals, interference patterns, and conductivity. And in the early 1940s, he became interested in a simple, practical question. Could he help his children perform better in school? That was the entire starting point. No grand spiritual mission, no mystical revelation. A father who wanted his children to learn more effectively. But the path that question opened led somewhere no one, least of all Silva, expected. Silva developed a hypothesis rooted in his understanding of electronics. If the brain is an electrical instrument, and it operates at different frequencies, then perhaps there is an optimal frequency for learning. Perhaps, if he could train his children to access what he called the alpha state, a state of relaxed, focused awareness, they could absorb and retain information more efficiently. He began testing this with his own children. He developed mental exercises. He measured results. He adjusted. He repeated. For years, this was not a weekend experiment. This was a methodical, iterative process that began in 1944 and continued for over 2 decades. And because Silva was an electronics technician, he did something that separated his work from the purely philosophical or spiritual tradition that had described similar states for millennia. He used EEGs. He measured brain activity. He validated whether his methods actually produced the neurological states he was aiming for. He was not guessing. He was not relying on subjective reports alone. He was reading the electrical signature of the brain and confirming that the practices he developed moved people into alpha reliably and measurably. What Silva found was that when people learned to access alpha with intention, their capacity for learning, for creative problem solving, for what he described as mental programming, expanded dramatically. By the mid-1960s, word of his work had spread beyond Laredo. By 1966, he was teaching his method to more than 100 people per week. And the core of everything he taught, the single skill that sat at the center of his entire system, was this: learning to enter alpha by choice, not by accident, by choice. And then, once there, knowing what to do. Because alpha by itself does not reprogram anything. A relaxed brain is just a relaxed brain. What matters is what you introduce into that state of receptivity. What images, what feelings, what new patterns of thought, what intentions, held not as desperate wishes, but as present tense experiences, felt in the body, lived in the imagination as though they are already real. And here is what I find most remarkable about Silva's story. He arrived at this understanding through the path of electronics, through circuits and frequencies and signal processing, not through Eastern meditation, not through mysticism, through the reasoning of a technician who understood how information moves through systems. And what did he find when he got there? The same thing the oldest contemplative traditions on Earth had been describing for thousands of years. The Hermetic tradition, codified in a text known as the Kybalion, states as its first principle that the all is mind, that the universe is mental. This is not a poetic flourish. It is a foundational claim about the nature of reality. Everything that exists, every material circumstance, every condition, every experience, begins as a mental event. The mind is not a byproduct of matter. Matter is a downstream expression of mind. And whoever learns to master the operations of their own mind begins to participate consciously in the creation of their experience. Silva, working with oscilloscopes and electrodes in a small Texas town, arrived at a functionally identical conclusion through an entirely different door. The brain is a frequency-based instrument. Change the frequency. Change what the instrument can receive and transmit. Change what it receives and transmits. Change the patterns it runs. Change the patterns it runs. Change the life it produces. Two paths. One from ancient esoteric philosophy. One from mid-20th century electronics repair, both pointing to the same territory. Now, there is a piece of this that has been confirmed by contemporary neuroscience in a way that would have been impossible in Silva's time, and it addresses the single most important objection your rational mind might be raising right now. The objection is this: even if I can access alpha, even if I can introduce new patterns, can the adult brain actually change? Is the hardware not already set? For decades, the scientific consensus said yes, the hardware is set. The adult brain was believed to be fixed. The neural circuits formed in childhood were considered permanent. You were born with a certain number of neurons. They wired themselves during your early years. And after that, the architecture was locked. This was taught in medical schools. It was printed in textbooks. It was the operating assumption of clinical psychology for most of the 20th century. It was wrong. What neuroscience now confirms, through decades of imaging studies, lesion research, and molecular analysis, is that the brain possesses a capacity called neuroplasticity. This is the ability of neural circuits to reorganize themselves, to form new synaptic connections, to strengthen pathways that are used frequently and prune pathways that are not. And this capacity does not expire. It does not shut down after childhood. It operates across the entire lifespan, at any age, under the right conditions. Those last four words are critical: under the right conditions. Because neuroplasticity is not a light switch you flip by deciding to think differently. It is a biological process that depends on specific neurochemical and electrical conditions in the brain. And the state the brain is in when new information or new experience is introduced matters as much as the content of that information. You have felt this distinction in your own life. Think of a time you tried to learn something while stressed, distracted, mentally scattered. Your mind was in high beta, racing, fragmented, defensive. The information went in and slid right back out. You repeated it, reviewed it, drilled it, and the next morning it felt as though you had never encountered it. Now think of a different moment, a time when you were relaxed, present, unhurried, genuinely open, and something clicked. Not just intellectually, but in your body. You understood it in a way that never left you. That was not a coincidence. That was neurochemistry. That was the difference between a brain in a receptive state and a brain in a defended state. The neuroscientist and researcher Joe Dispenza has described this mechanism in terms that connect directly to what we are exploring. When you repeat the same thoughts, generate the same emotional responses, and follow the same behavioral routines day after day, the brain fires the same neural sequences. Those sequences become increasingly hardwired. The circuits that fire together wire together, as the neuroscientific principle states. And the more hardwired they become, the more automatic they are. The less conscious effort they require, and the more invisible they become to your awareness. They become you. Or rather, they become what you mistake for you. To change, Dispenza argues, you must interrupt those sequences. You must get the brain to stop firing the old patterns long enough to form new ones. And the state in which this interruption is most possible, the state in which the brain is most receptive to new circuit formation, is not the frantic analytical state of high beta. It is the coherent, open, receptive state of alpha and the deeper states it gives access to. In November 2025, researchers at the University of California, San Diego, published a study in the journal Communications Biology that documented something extraordinary. They measured what happens biologically during a 7-day intensive meditation retreat based on Dispenza's protocols. The results went beyond subjective reports of feeling different. They showed measurable biological reprogramming at the neural and molecular level. Here's what they found. When plasma, the liquid component of blood, was collected from participants after the retreat and applied to neurons grown in a laboratory, those neurons grew longer branches and formed new connections. The meditation practice had changed the participants' blood chemistry in a way that literally promoted neural growth. Neuroplasticity factors, including the BDNF pathway, which researchers describe as a kind of fertilizer for the brain, showed significant increases. 7 days. No pharmaceutical intervention, no surgery, no external technology, just sustained intentional engagement with specific mental states. This is not abstract theory. This is peer-reviewed molecular biology, confirming that the state of your consciousness directly alters the biological substrate of your brain. The medium through which you think, perceive, and experience reality is not fixed. It is responsive. It is listening. It is waiting for instructions. And the frequency at which you deliver those instructions determines whether they reach the subconscious operating system or bounce off the surface of your analytical mind. So let us be precise about what is actually happening when someone successfully reprograms a subconscious pattern. Because the word reprogram gets used loosely, and looseness here leads to frustration and failure. The subconscious mind learned its current programs through a specific set of conditions. Condition 1. The brain was in a slow wave state, predominantly theta, which meant the critical faculty was either undeveloped or bypassed. Condition 2. The information was delivered not as abstract concept, but as lived experience, as emotion, as sensory reality. A child does not learn that the world is unsafe by hearing a lecture about danger. The child learns it by feeling the tension in a parent's body, by hearing the sharp edge in a voice, by experiencing the withdrawal of warmth. The learning is somatic. It is emotional. It is whole body. Condition 3. The experience was repeated. Not once, many times, over months and years. The same emotional tone, the same relational pattern, the same environmental message, delivered again and again, until the neural pathway was so deeply grooved, it became automatic. Successful reprogramming requires meeting those same conditions, only this time with the content you choose. Condition 1. You must access a brain state where the critical faculty softens. This is alpha moving toward theta, not unconsciousness, not sleep. A specific, wakeful, receptive state where the gatekeeper between conscious and subconscious relaxes its grip. Condition 2, you must deliver the new pattern not as a thought, but as an experience. Not "I want to feel confident," stated as a wish from the outside, but the actual felt sense of confidence, generated in the body, inhabited as a present tense reality. The subconscious does not distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an external one. This is not a mystical claim. It is a well-documented feature of how the brain processes sensory information. The same neural regions activate whether you are seeing something with your eyes or visualizing it with sustained focus and emotional engagement. This is why athletes use mental rehearsal. This is why trauma memories trigger physiological responses long after the event. The brain responds to the signal, not to the source of the signal. Condition 3. Repetition. A single session of deep alpha visualization is a beautiful experience. It is not reprogramming. Reprogramming requires consistent repetition over time. The new pattern must be reinforced until it becomes as automatic as the old one, until it fires without effort, until it becomes the new default. This is where most people abandon the process, not because it does not work, because they expect the shift to happen in the time frame their conscious mind considers reasonable, which is usually immediately. But the subconscious does not operate on the conscious mind's schedule. It operates on the schedule of repetition and emotional intensity. You are not negotiating with it. You are training it. And training takes time, not decades, not necessarily even months, but more than one afternoon of good intentions. I am curious about something. Have you ever had a moment where you caught yourself mid-reaction and realized you were running an old program, not actually responding to what was in front of you? Tell me about that moment in the comments. Those flashes of awareness are more significant than you think. Now I want to bring this out of the conceptual and into your body, because everything I have described so far is useless if it stays in your head. The head is where understanding lives. The body is where change lives. And the gap between those two locations is where most transformation efforts go to die. So here is what I want you to do, not later, not after the video. Right now. I want you to let your eyes soften. If you are somewhere safe, let them close. If not, just soften your gaze so that you are not focused on anything specific. Let the visual field blur slightly. Now take one breath, not a dramatic breath, not a performance of breathing, just one breath that is slightly slower and slightly deeper than the one before it. Let the exhale be longer than the inhale, not by force, by release, as though the breath is leaving on its own and you are simply allowing it. Notice what happens in the space behind your forehead. There is a subtle shift, a quieting. The mental chatter does not stop, but it recedes slightly, as though someone turned the volume down one notch. That single notch is the beginning of alpha. You did not have to earn it. You did not have to qualify for it. Your brain already knows this state. It has been visiting it your entire life. You are simply, for perhaps the first time, noticing the visit while it is happening. Now, while you are in this slightly softened state, I want you to notice something specific. Notice the feeling in your chest, not an emotion you can name, the physical sensation. Is there tightness, warmth, a sense of expansion, a feeling of something held? Do not try to change it. Do not judge it. Just notice it. Because that sensation, whatever it is the somatic signature of a subconscious program. It is the body's expression of a belief you may not be able to articulate consciously, but that runs your life with quiet, absolute authority. Stay with it for a moment. This is not meditation in the formal sense. This is reconnaissance. You are locating the program not in your thoughts, but in your tissue. Because that is where it actually lives. The reason I am asking you to do this now, inside this experience rather than after it, is that the state you are in while listening to sustained, contemplative content is already closer to alpha than your normal waking state. Your analytical mind is partially occupied by following the narrative. Your body is relatively still. Your breathing has likely slowed without your noticing. You are, right now, in a more receptive state than you were an hour ago, and that means what I say next has a chance of reaching deeper than your surface mind. Here is what I want you to understand, not conceptually, but cellularly. The program running in your chest right now, the one producing that specific sensation, was installed by someone who was not you. It was installed during a period of your life when you had no capacity to evaluate, filter, or refuse incoming information. It was installed through emotional experience, not through logic. And it has been running, uninterrupted, ever since. Every time you sabotage yourself, every time you pull back from something you want, every time you react with an intensity that does not match the situation, every time you feel a ceiling you cannot see but can feel, that is the program executing. And the reason it has been so resistant to change is not that it is powerful in some mystical sense. It is that you have been trying to change it from the wrong frequency. You have been standing at the door of the subconscious with a beta wave key, and the lock only opens to alpha and theta. You have been shouting affirmations at a system that only listens to whispers. You have been thinking your way toward a change that can only be felt into existence. This is not a failing of yours. It is a mismatch of method. And now that you understand the mismatch, you can correct it. Let me describe what a deliberate reprogramming practice actually looks like, step by step, so that you leave this experience with something you can use tomorrow morning. The optimal window is the first few minutes after waking. Here is why. When you wake from sleep, Your brain transitions from delta through theta and into alpha before reaching beta. There is a natural window, usually lasting somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes, where you are awake but your brain has not yet shifted into full analytical mode. Your eyes may be open. You may be aware of the room. But there is a softness to your perception, a quality of openness that is distinct from how you will feel once you check your phone, review your schedule, or begin planning your day. This window is the most accessible alpha-theta border most people will encounter in their daily lives. And it is the window most people immediately destroy by reaching for a screen. So the first practical instruction is this: do not reach for your phone in the first 10 minutes after waking. This is not a productivity tip. This is a neurological strategy. The moment you engage with external information, texts, news, social media, your brain accelerates into beta to process it. The window closes. The door to the subconscious locks. And you have lost your most natural daily opportunity to introduce new programming. Instead, in those first minutes, while you are still in that soft, open state, do this. Close your eyes, or keep them softly closed. Bring to mind not a wish, not a goal, not a sentence, but a scene. A specific scene in which the version of you that has already changed is living. Not hoping to live. Living. See the scene with as much sensory detail as you can generate. Where are you? What do you see? What does the air feel like? What expression is on your face? What does your body feel like from the inside? What is the emotional tone of this moment? And here is the crucial element. Feel it. Do not think about feeling it. Feel it. Generate the emotion in your body as though the scene is happening now. Gratitude. Calm confidence. Ease. Joy. Whatever the emotional signature of that new reality would be, produce it in your body. Let your chest open. Let your breathing reflect it. Let your nervous system register it as real. Remember what we established earlier. The subconscious does not distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an external one. The same neural pathways activate. The same neurochemical cascades initiate. When you generate the emotional and sensory experience of your new reality in a state where the subconscious is receptive, you are not pretending. You are installing. You are writing new code in the only language the operating system understands. Hold this for 5 minutes, not 30, not an hour. 5 minutes of genuine, felt, embodied visualization in the alpha-theta window is more powerful than an hour of affirmations shouted in beta. Because it is not the duration that matters. It is the depth. It is the state. It is the felt reality of the experience you are introducing. Then, during the day, there is a second practice that reinforces the morning installation. And it is simpler than you might expect. Throughout your day, you will encounter moments when old programming activates. You will feel the familiar tightening, the habitual reaction, the automatic thought pattern. In that moment, there is a gap. It is brief. It lasts perhaps 2 or 3 seconds. It is the space between the stimulus and the response. And in that gap, your entire future is decided. Most people do not notice the gap. The stimulus arrives, the program fires, the reaction happens, and they experience the whole sequence as a single, seamless, involuntary event. But it is not seamless. There is a gap, and with practice you can learn to find it. When you notice the gap, do one thing. Take one slow breath, just one. Not to calm yourself, though that will happen, but to interrupt the automatic firing sequence. That single breath is a pattern interrupt. It breaks the neural chain for just long enough that you have a choice. Not a choice imposed by willpower, a choice made possible by awareness. And in that moment of choice, you can respond from the new program rather than the old one. This will not work perfectly the first time, or the fifth time. The old program has decades of reinforcement behind it. The new one has days, but every time you catch the gap, every time you choose the new response, you are strengthening the new neural pathway and weakening the old one. You are training the subconscious through the second mechanism Lipton described, repetition. And over time, the new pattern becomes the default. Not because you forced it, because you practiced it in the right state, with the right emotional intensity, with enough consistency that the brain reorganized itself around the new instruction. There is something else happening here that goes beyond individual neuroscience, and I want to name it because it is part of why you found this video when you did. Quantum physics has revealed something about the nature of reality that most people have heard of, but few have truly absorbed. The observer effect. In the famous double-slit experiment, first performed by Thomas Young in 1801 and refined in quantum mechanical terms throughout the 20th century, particles of matter, electrons or photons, are fired at a barrier with two slits. When no one observes which slit the particle passes through, it behaves as a wave, producing an interference pattern on the detector screen that indicates it passed through both slits simultaneously. But when a measuring device is placed at the slits to observe which one the particle passes through, the interference pattern disappears. The particle behaves as a particle. It goes through one slit or the other. The act of observation changes the behavior of matter at its most fundamental level. This has been confirmed in countless variations of the experiment over nearly a century. It is not disputed. It is one of the most replicated results in the history of physics, and its implications, when you follow them honestly, are staggering. Because what it suggests is that reality at the quantum level does not exist in a fixed state, independent of observation. It exists in a state of potential, a superposition of possibilities, until consciousness interacts with it. And then it collapses into a specific, definite outcome. Now, I want to be careful here, because this is where many discussions leap from physics to fantasy without respecting the gap between them. The double-slit experiment describes the behavior of subatomic particles under controlled laboratory conditions. Extending it directly to human-scale experience requires interpretive steps that are not universally accepted in physics. I am not claiming that you collapse reality into existence by looking at it in the same way a detector collapses a photon's wave function. What I am pointing to is something more subtle and, I think, more profound. The deepest layer of physical reality that science has been able to probe operates according to principles in which observation and outcome are not separate, in which the state of the observer is part of the equation, in which potential becomes actual through an interaction that involves, at minimum, the presence of a measuring system, and at maximum, consciousness itself. And when you place that understanding alongside what we have explored about the subconscious mind, about brain frequencies, about the conditions under which neural patterns form and reform, a picture emerges that is both scientifically grounded and deeply, irreducibly mysterious. You are not a passive recipient of a fixed reality. You are a participant in an ongoing act of creation. And the instrument through which you participate, your brain, your nervous system, your field of awareness, is tunable. It operates at different frequencies, and the frequency at which it operates determines what it can access, what it can change, and what kind of reality it is capable of generating. The subconscious programs running your life are not just habits. They are frequency-locked patterns of observation. They determine what you notice and what you filter out. They determine what possibilities you perceive and which ones remain invisible to you. They determine, in a very real sense, which version of reality you collapse into existence each day. When you change the program, you do not just change your behavior. You change what you see. You change what you are capable of receiving. You change the field of possibility that is available to you. Not because the external world rearranges itself magically, but because your perceptual apparatus, the instrument through which you interact with reality, is now tuned to a different frequency. And at that frequency, different information arrives. Different opportunities become visible. Different responses become available. Different outcomes become probable. This is what the ancient traditions meant when they said that the mind creates reality, not that you hallucinate your circumstances into existence, but that the state of your consciousness is the primary filter through which all experience is processed. And when you change the filter, you change the experience. Completely, measurably, irreversibly. And this is why the readiness you felt, the pull that brought you to this video, matters. Because readiness is not a feeling. It is a frequency. It is a specific state of your nervous system that indicates the old program has been running long enough, has produced enough friction, has generated enough dissonance between what you are living and what you know is possible, that the system itself is ready for an update. The discomfort you have been feeling is not a problem. It is a signal. It is the operating system flagging that the current software is no longer compatible with the hardware upgrade that has been quietly installing itself through every moment of seeking, every question, every late night wondering about whether there is more to this than what you have been told. There is more, and you already knew that. You knew it before you clicked. You knew it before you heard a single word of this. The knowing was the click. The knowing was the readiness. And the readiness is the frequency. Let me give you one more practice before we close this space together. This one is for the evening, completing a cycle with the morning practice I described earlier. In the minutes before sleep, your brain again transitions through alpha toward theta, and eventually delta. There is another window here, a mirror image of the morning window, where the subconscious is accessible. And this window has a particular quality that the morning window does not. In the evening, the subconscious is preparing to process the day. It is organizing, consolidating, filing. And whatever emotional state you are in as you cross the threshold into sleep becomes the instruction set for that processing. If you fall asleep in anxiety, reviewing everything that went wrong, anticipating tomorrow's problems, the subconscious processes the night through the lens of threat. It reinforces the neural pathways associated with fear, scarcity, and defensiveness. You wake up already braced. If you fall asleep in a state of genuine gratitude, not performed gratitude, not a list recited mechanically, but the actual felt experience of thankfulness for something specific and real, the subconscious processes the night through a different lens entirely. It reinforces pathways associated with abundance, safety, and openness. You wake up in a different neurochemical environment. Literally, the hormones circulating in your blood are different. The baseline tension in your muscles is different. The thoughts that arise first are different. So the evening practice is this: as you lie in bed, before sleep takes you, bring to mind one specific moment from the day for which you feel genuine gratitude. Not a concept, a moment. The way the light looked at a particular hour, a sentence someone said that landed, the taste of something, the feeling of your body in a chair after a long day. Something small, specific, and real. Feel the gratitude for that moment. Not think it, feel it. Let it expand in your chest. Let it soften your face. Let it become the last conscious experience before sleep carries you under. You are not just ending your day pleasantly. You are programming the subconscious's overnight processing cycle. You are choosing the lens through which 8 hours of neural consolidation will occur. And over time, night after night, this single practice reshapes the architecture of your default emotional state more profoundly than any amount of daytime effort conducted in high beta. Morning and evening, the two natural windows, the two moments when the door is already open. All you must do is stop slamming it shut with a screen and start walking through it with intention. Consider coming back to this video tomorrow morning and listening to it again as you begin your day. Let it guide you into that alpha window before the world pulls you into beta. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, someone you know is feeling that same friction between where they are and where they sense they could be, share this with them. When you pass this understanding forward, you are not just helping one person. You are reinforcing these principles in your own nervous system, deepening your own rewiring through the act of teaching, and creating a ripple in the collective field that benefits both of you in ways neither of you can fully predict. I want to leave you with something that is not an instruction, but a recognition. Because I think it matters that someone says this to you directly. The fact that you are here, that you stayed, that you listened, that something in you resonated with this is not trivial. It is not entertainment. It is evidence. Evidence that a part of you, deeper than your conscious mind, older than your analytical thinking, more intelligent than your worry, has been orchestrating this moment. It brought you the dissatisfaction that made you search. It brought you the openness that made you stay. And it is bringing you, right now, the understanding that makes change possible. You did not find this by accident. Nothing in the field operates by accident. The readiness came first. The information followed. And what you do with it next is the only thing that has ever mattered. Not what you understand. What you practice. Not what you know. What you embody. Not what you intend. What you repeat, in the right state with the right feeling, until the new code becomes the only code. The door is open. It has been open your entire life. You just did not know where to look. Now you do. If this reached something in you that goes beyond curiosity, if you felt even a moment where the words stopped being information and became recognition, then you are already in the process. Stay with it. Come back to the morning practice tomorrow. Use the evening practice tonight. And notice over the days and weeks ahead how the world you are living in begins to shift, not because it changed, but because you did. Subscribe to this channel if you want to continue walking this path together. Leave a comment with the one thing that landed deepest for you today, because articulating it is part of the integration, part of moving it from concept to lived reality. And share this with someone who you know is ready. Not someone who needs convincing. Someone who, like you, has already been feeling the pull. They will know why you sent it, and it will reach them exactly when it is supposed to. The frequency is set. The door is open. And you, the real you, the one beneath the programs, beneath the patterns, beneath the autopilot, are already walking through.